Okay, welcome back. We're getting ready to jump into section 2, data integration and connectivity. Reminder, you got Ryan and Tristan from Data Courage here, talking to and walking through the top 50 takeaways from FabCon, SQLCon 2026. Like I mentioned, we just wrapped up section 1. So here we are as we dive into section 2, data integration and connectivity. Ryan, floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Tristan. Thank you. Yeah. So this is some neat things that are going to help us with getting data integrated into Fabric, right? And so hopefully you'll see how each one of these kind of fits into this category here. So the first one is mirroring for SharePoint. This one met with a crowd of eruption as everyone was yelling and screaming and applauding at FabCon. So this is a big one. This is allowing us to basically take any kind of lists or Excel files or CSVs or data files that we can read that are inside of SharePoint and makes them readily accessible within Fabric. We don't have to go through the hoopla of creating a SharePoint directory. There's countless YouTube videos out there right now that show you exactly how to do that, which is now being answered with this, which is just basically a click of the button. Here's my SharePoint link, and off we go. This one's a big win. Very cool.
Wow.
The next one is shortcut transformations. So this is going to allow us to, this is more of like a quality of life improvement, right? So Excel to table transformations for shortcuts. So everybody in businesses always loves Excel, right? Despite it, every effort we could ever make, they end up always becoming central to the business. So this is where this helps us out, right? This allows Fabric to basically look at that Excel file that's in SharePoint and automatically interpret it as a structured table, right? So kind of along with the last one, but this is very specifically for how it's treating Excel within that. So every sheet, every table becomes a table inside of this, and it's going to make it so that we can now allow people to use SharePoint Excel files as a central decision mechanism that could then get ingested into Fabric with ease.
A lot of companies use Excel, like you talked about, and so that being spread out the way that it is, that isn't a way for them to be able to get that from being disparate to connected, right? And with using AI, it's available via the licensing they have. Pretty cool.
Yeah. The next one is for how we scale, right? So the one like
Okay.
catalog is basically as things get bigger, as data keeps growing, as more things get built into your Fabric environment and more signal or more sources and reports, and it just starts to creep and grow and gets to be something that can be a little bit overwhelming, right? And so the one lake catalog is meant to help simplify that and make it so that you can see everything that is promoted or certified in such a certain way and gives the users that warm and fuzzy, right? It also allows us to see data that's been available or tagged in certain ways across our entire ecosystem, whether we have multiple data warehouses or a single lake house, right? If we've tagged this data as a sensitive customer name or something along those lines, we'll be able to see everywhere across the entire system where that lives. So that's helpful for things like GDPR and those efforts as well.
Hugely important.
Yeah. Materialized lake views is kind of a neat one. So this is basically another step towards the approach of don't make duplications of your data, right? So materialized lake view is essentially a way for us to use a view, right? The lens of looking into your data, but use a view so that you don't have to create a duplication of the data, but then it's treated as a materialized lake view so that your semantic model can actually understand what it's doing, right? So this is a new kind of a thing that Microsoft has cooked up that allows our semantic models to use our views as though it's a physical table and read from the source table, all because it's in the same lake. Okay, so this is kind of new cutting edge stuff, right? This is generally available, so it's out there, it's been tested and stuff. But materialized lake views, if you haven't tried them out, there's a lot to learn. Check them out. They're fast. Pretty cool.
All right, next one.
Yeah. So this last one is this is another one that was kind of came out of unexpected area, right? We weren't sure. I wasn't expecting to hear something about this. Planning in Fabric. This is because of a partnership that they made with Lumel, I believe is the name. So this is a kind of a first party integration, if you will, rather than a Microsoft developed solution. This allows you to do planning inside of Fabric. That data can then be ingested into any other part of your Fabric ecosystem and made readily used. Currently, as you can see in the screen, it's not very user friendly to get to that planning screen. It's not a Power BI report, so it's not an app. If you're used to sharing apps with your users, the experience here is different. But at the end of the day, it's planning. It has comments, it has tracking, and you can do adjustments, and you can do, growth-based analysis for your budgets and forecasts.
Helping you, something that you referenced previously is like, helping take that or / eliminate the need for those disconnected planning tools, right? In reference to spreadsheet hell, right? Wow, right? Usually comes from typical, as you already mentioned, the budgeting cycles, because it's just so many of them, and a lot of coming from a lot of different direction. So again, kind of coming back, getting from a disparate area into non-disparate, and allowing you to be able to actively work on planning.
That's right. Right. It turns Fabric from being a passive tool to an active engagement tool,
Right.
and brings them into the same house as what's being used for reporting rather than disparate files floating around and the old shadow Excel file that's out there. Right.
Keep it all in the family.
Yep. Well, that wraps
Okay.
section 2. So let's move on to section 3, huh?
All right. Thanks for joining us. And again, stay tuned for section 3. And that is on SQL Server 2025. You can hear me there. The AI Ready Core. So again, section 3, SQL Server 2025, the AI Ready Core. Thanks again for joining for section 2. See you in a moment.